is Black Friday really dead? Because everything I saw on social media says that stores were empty, nobody was buying anything, and the sales weren't good, yet somehow we still had a record amount of sales. So what is exactly going on? What does it mean for the stock market? What does it mean for the economy? What does it mean for your portfolio? Let's go ahead and break it down. Here's the thing. Black Friday was just a few days ago. Today is Cyber Monday. And all of this stuff is going to have an impact on what we think is going to happen with the economy in 2024 and what we know is going to happen with the stock market. But here's the thing. A lot of y'all were in stores. Y'all didn't see a whole bunch of great deals. And it was relatively empty, especially compared to what things were like 2, 3, 4, even 5 years ago. And despite that, stores brought in a record, let me check, $9.8 billion with a B in sales. A record. They have not seen this number before. Okay, and then today, which is Cyber Monday, they're expected to bring in another $12 billion. So what is going on here? Because last I checked, inflation was high, our budgets are being squeezed, where is everybody finding all this money? And again, how is this going to trickle out into other effects? Because everything in economics is about scarcity. You only have but so much money. I only have but so much money, and something has to move, right? If you are selling a stock, that money has to be converted somewhere else, right? It's in cash, you went and bought something, or you put it into another stock. You only have but so much, right? There is a limited supply here. So what is going on? The other thing too is unemployment is still low. And that's an interesting thing too. We're near a 50-year low in unemployment. So these two things together, record sales for Black Friday, we may see a record today by the end of today for Cyber Monday, and you still have low unemployment. But it feels like the sales weren't great. And it still feels like a recession, even though, again, unemployment is low and people are spending in record numbers. Well, this points to three major things, okay? Three major things. The first is this. Inflation is here, and it is a major issue. In fact, the CEO of Macy's came out and said that for a median family making $75,000 a year, they are seeing an extra $700 in expenses per month than what they saw just 2 years ago. Now, that number is very specific, and if you ask me, that is a large number to be coming out of your budget monthly, okay? Now, $700 a year is one thing, but $700 extra that you weren't spending two years ago, that is going to hurt, and it is hurting several stores like Best Buy and Macy's and others, and it is hurting most stores, but there are two that are an exception that we're going to get to in just a second. But that $700 number, right? Remember that. What have we been talking about on this channel for the last several months? I've been talking about what is going to happen once student loan payments come back online. And this is a major part of that. And it is forcing people to trade down, which is what I've been saying as to why Target has not been doing well, but it's why a company like Walmart is doing fine. Or even a company like TJ Maxx. Two of those companies are some of the few in the retail space that are actually still seeing same store sales growth. That means the exact same store this year versus last year. Is it growing or is it shrinking in terms of sales? Walmart and TJ Maxx, they're fine. They're seeing slow growth, but it's still growth, while it feels like everybody else has been losing ground as they are trading down for those more expensive stores and going to these more discount retailers and places where you can find better deals. So that is number one, why some people aren't feeling the deals, because if you've already been shopping at Walmart and you've already been shopping at TJ Maxx to save money, there ain't so much more that you can really mark down when you really think about it, especially if you're at TJ Maxx, which is one of my favorite stores when I tend to shop, right? It's already marked down. It's only been so much that they can go before that whole thing is free. So that's one. You're starting to see people trade down. You're seeing people spend more than $700 more that they weren't expected to spend and what they weren't used to over the last 2 years. A part of that $700 is also just general inflation, as well as everything has been just a bit more expensive. But the other thing is this: 68% of people spent their money online. Why would you get up at 4 a.m. and line up to buy stuff? Why would you walk out in the cold and leave your turkey and leave your sleep? Who cares about turkey? Why would you leave all your great food, with the exception of turkey, and go out there to do all that stuff when you can just do it from your phone? That is what most people did, close to 70% of people. But I think the other thing that we are missing here is a lot of these stores started these Black Friday deals in October. So from October 1 to now, the end of November, people have been doing a lot of this shopping stuff. So you've been used to seeing a lot of these prices, if some of those prices were even attractive at that point in time. So it doesn't feel like it is really Black Friday. It's really sale season across the board. And Best Buy has been out in front trying to mark down as many items as they can because, again, people are trading down. The other part, too, that I don't think enough people are talking about is during the pandemic, during stimulus season, when we were stuck at home and we had record high numbers of savings, people were buying all types of stuff that, you know, maybe you did or did not need, but I only needed a new TV but so many times. And when I was at home streaming and watching everything, when I bought that new TV, I don't need one right now. And I think that is something that is understated. I mean, even the camera that I am recording on, I got during COVID because I couldn't go anywhere. I wanted to invest more in my business and the channel and all that type of stuff. I don't really need to go, right? I don't need new camera, new equipment, and all that type of stuff. So that's another thing. The last thing I'll say is this, and this is something that is contributing to what we're saying, and it is something we have covered on the channel before, and that is credit cards. Credit cards have we have seen now across the country a record credit card balance. I believe, if I remember correctly, it was over $1 trillion. Now, this is not a good thing, okay? I don't want us to have record credit card debt for the first time, or $1 trillion credit card debt, whatever that total number is. And whether I am or not investing in credit card companies, doesn't really make me feel great, okay? So I don't want to see record numbers of credit card debt, but there is something that can also help fuel record numbers, even though people don't feel the same. Because usually when you're using a credit card and you're not paying off the balances, which I would suggest that you do, that's gonna tell you that you're spending over what you currently have. So that's something you obviously want to cut back. That's another reason why it can feel like a recession, even though you're at record unemployment, and people are still spending, even though you feel like the deals aren't there. So it feels very contradictory at the same time, but the numbers are the numbers. But that is why it feels the way that it does. That's why the reason why it feels the way it does, because we're seeing that extra $700 come out of your paycheck, right? That doesn't feel great. And then you also have been seeing these sales for an extended period of time, so it doesn't feel the way that it used to. Now the question is, how is this going to translate into the stock market? Well, I think a lot of it you have already seen before. So we've already put out a list of the best stocks for Black Friday. We put that out last week, and there were an additional 2 stocks that we talked about inside our members only that you want to make sure you check out, because again, 2 of those were up well over 100% in just the last 6 months, and those do well, right, in times like this. And it ain't Best Buy, right? It's not Target, that have been really sliding over the last several months. So you make sure that you check those out. And if you want to learn more about those Black Friday stocks that are still doing quite well, you want to check out this video next.